So following the defeat of the special one, Kell Brook from Sheffield, Amir Khan has said that he wants to make more noise in boxing starting from November 2017. The sad thing is, though, that Amir has said this continuously, that he's coming back into boxing, he's going to be fighting here, fighting there, and then he just doesn't fight. Amir Khan actually got himself into a really good position. Just before the Canelo Alvarez fight, he was the mandatory to Danny Garcia's WBC title. Why he didn't take that fight is just beyond me. I've gone on and on about it, but we're just going to leave it at that. He was ranked pretty highly by... He was ranked highly in general in the 147 division. He got himself in good position. He looked stunning against Collazo, stunning against Alexander, and he was on a good run, and then he took on the Canelo fight. Got knocked out 155 pounds by Canelo Alvarez, and his career was shattered by that knockout, because not only did he get knocked out, he had to have a hand surgery as well. All these things combined led to a severe inactivity by Amir Khan. But what really set him back was the fact that he didn't take a fight before Ramadan started. He was talking about taking the fight, taking a tune-up fight. He was then in negotiations with Manny Pacquiao and did not take the fight. Manny Pacquiao did not take the fight. So that didn't come off, and waiting for Manny Pacquiao, Amir Khan, yet again, as he did when he was facing Floyd Mayweather Jr., supposedly, he was supposed to face Mayweather, has had now a very long inactive run and been chasing these super fights with no material. So Amir Khan now has been dropped by the WBC. He's not ranked, and he has to fight his way back. However, Amir Khan's a big name in America still. He's got pull power. Kell Brook, you see, he doesn't have pull power in America, and because he doesn't have pull power in America, he wasn't, and him and Errol Spence did not sell out Sheffield. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Kell Brook wasn't able to sell out Sheffield. Kell Brook is going to have fewer options than Amir Khan has at 147. There are people who will be willing to fight Amir because Amir Khan, believe it or not, for some of you who doubt Amir, he's still a name in boxing. Okay, even after the Canelo loss, he has had a lot of high-profile talks. He's had a high-profile fight with Canelo. He's been around the boxing scene a while. Amir has really built up his name in America, and his brand is well established. So what's next for Amir Khan? Okay, so everyone's saying, I think most people are saying that Amir Khan is finished. He has nothing left to offer the sport. But if we look historically at Amir, he's always been that guy who comes back. I can't recall a boxer that I've seen in my time. Historically, I can name you some, but I can't remember a fighter that I've seen. And I've been watching boxing since the Nas days, since Mike Tyson in the 90s. That's when I was watching boxing. And when I used to watch fights, I remember very vividly, but I remember it, when Prince Nassim Hamed stopped fighting. I remember his last fight very vividly. He fought Barrera, took a beating, and I couldn't believe that Prince Nassim lost, and then he retired from the sport of boxing. Amir Khan, on the other hand, he took losses early on in his career. He bounced back in such good fashion from the Bradis Prescott knockout. He beat Zab Judah, he beat so many good fighters, Kotelnik. He rebuilt his career, became a world champion, got knocked out by Danny Garcia. Everybody thought he was done. Slowly but surely came back, beat Julio Diaz, Carlos Molina. He beat, and then he got established in the 147 division. Looks really good against Devin Alexander, really good against Collazo, and then he's got knocked out by Canelo at 155. Yet he remains undefeated at 147 pounds. I've said it in the past and I'll say it again. Amir Khan's main problem is the politics that surrounds him, with his team, with himself, with his just general politics around him, whether that's in the ring, out of the ring, boxing, not boxing related, his lifestyle. Amir Khan, he has problems outside the ring, and that is what has held Amir back. He's a great talent, and I still believe he's a good talent. But had he stuck with, Virgil Hunter and Tony Brady, who knows how the Canelo Alvarez fight could have turned out. when he switched strength and conditioning coaches, that's when I knew that Amir Khan was not going to win this fight against Canelo. He had too much going on in his camp, and a change up like that, a drastic change up like that, when you've had success, is not needed. So where does Amir Khan go from here now? He's got Virgil Hunter in his corner. He's got Tony Brady back, so he should look devastating at 147 pounds. He should look fast. He should look quick. He should look powerful, and he should look good. I mean, it wasn't just that he beat Devin Alexander or Luis Colazo. Even though Devin Alexander is a non-puncher, Luis Colazo can crack a bit. But Amir Khan beat them both in really good fashion, dropped Luis Colazo with body shots. So Amir Khan looked good at 147 pounds. But the talk is Amir Khan's done. Whenever he gets clipped on the chin, he gets knocked out. But this has been the general consensus with Amir throughout his career. He's done, and then he becomes the next best thing since sliced bread. But this time, it's not the knockout loss against Canelo that's really hurting him. It's more his inactivity. His inactivity out of the ring for quite some time now is what's really led people to lose their faith in Amir. But I'm sounding like a broken record going on and on, so let's move on. What is next for Amir Khan? Amir Khan is likely to come back in November 2017. And he said he wants a big fight. Now, why he wants a big fight is beyond me, because you haven't fought in so long. I do not see why Amir Khan should be taking a big fight, because a big fight means big risk. A big fight means a big puncher. And Amir Khan really doesn't need this as a comeback fight. He's going to be rusty. He's a front-runner fighter, so he won't have as much ring rust as someone who adjusts and counter punches. He likes to punch first and get out of the way. But he's going to struggle to find range. He's going to have the smaller gloves on. Everything's going to be different to what he's been doing in training camp. And he's been out of the gym. He's not been constantly in the gym. So if he goes up against Errol Spence, Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, any of these guys, they're going to potentially knock Amir Khan out. Now, Amir Khan does have one option. Okay? And it's a very sly tactic. I'll give you a clue. Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, number 2. Okay? Amir Khan could wait for Kell Brook to have a surgery, okay? And you know Kell Brook's going to pile on the pounds. As soon as Kell Brook heals, okay, say to him, look, I'll fight you. I'll give you the split, okay, 70-30, not 80-20. I'll give you a 70-30 split if you take the fight in 8 weeks' time, okay? Kell Brook takes that fight, Wembley Stadium. Amir Khan could make Kell Brook weight drain himself and go on and put a clinical performance against Kell Brook and beat him. For Amir Khan's camp are smart, that's what they will do. However, most likely, I don't think this will happen. I think what will happen is Amir will not take on Kell Brook. I think he will go into a big fight against Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, or again attempt Manny Pacquiao. And the result will not be very good, because I think Amir Khan's going to be rusty and he's going to struggle to fight them top elite fighters after such inactivity. What Amir could do is take a tune-up fight, which would be the smartest thing to do. Okay? If he wants to beat Kell Brook, he should do it in the manner that I said. You know, it's boxing politics. Sugar Ray Leonard did it. A lot of great fighters have done that. Weight drain their opponents, use their smarts, use their advantage, use their pull power. If Amir Khan uses his pull power and uses Kell Brook being down at the moment, he can really put pressure on Kell Brook in terms of negotiations and beat Kell that way. If he lets Kell have a few fights, get back into shape, and then challenges Kell, and Kell gets back down to 147 healthily, as he did in the Errol Spence fight, because I think he made it as good as he could, I think Kell Brook can end Amir Khan inside of 7 to 8 rounds. I think Kell Brook can take Amir Khan out, because he's just too big. However, Amir Khan he could also outbox him, but I'm not going to make a final prediction, because there's a lot of factors that I need to see before that fight happens, because both are really good fighters, you see. Most people, I think that Kell Brook can beat Amir Khan at 147, but it depends what Kell Brook comes into the ring, because, like I said, if Amir Khan gives Kell Brook 8 weeks after the surgery, you know, he's just repaired up, whatever it is, and he's out and he's off weight, he's depressed or whatever, and they make the fight then, and Kell Brook decides to cash out, then, you know, Kell Brook's not going to be, he'll make the weight, but he's not going to make it healthily, and he's going to weight drain himself, he's going to kill himself. So these things are variables that are going to have to be taken into consideration if and when that fight is made. His other alternatives are Sean Porter, Okay, that's not a stylistically good fight for him. I think it's probably the worst fight he can take at 147 after Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence is the worst fight he can take. Sean Porter is the second worst fight he can take. I think Keith Thurman, he's the one with the belt, right? Okay, he's got two belts. I think Amir Khan could even as of now potentially face Danny Garcia. But I mean, if you look at Danny Garcia and you look at Keith Thurman, for me, for risk and reward, everything that's involved, he's better off going down the route of facing Keith Thurman, trying to win a belt. Because if he faces Danny Garcia now, Danny's got nothing to offer. He's not got a belt. Yes, it's a more winnable fight than Keith, but Danny Garcia does pose a certain level of risk because he's a counter puncher. He's got a strong left hook. He's quicker at 147 pounds than most 147 pounders. He's sharp, and I think he's a very underrated fighter. Is Danny Garcia? He's taken a loss to Keith, but apart from that, he's undefeated. I don't care what anyone says about his previous fights. Danny Garcia is a great fighter. So if you look at it, why take Danny Garcia when you can, potentially get in line for Keith Thurman? And that's what I think Amir should do. I think he should go for the Keith Thurman fight now. I don't think Keith Thurman's impossible to beat. I rate him. I think he's a brilliant fighter. He is one-time Keith Thurman. He's a big welterweight. He can knock you out. But he can also be out of box and he can be hurt. He is vulnerable to body shots. He's shown that before. If Amir Khan comes in pretty big in the fight, does a strength and conditioning right, keeps his chin tucked, who knows? We could see Amir Khan maybe put it on Keith Thurman, outbox him, outclass him, and make it 12 rounds. It's possible. Anything's possible in boxing. Everybody's written Amir Khan off before, and he's come through some good tests. So I'm not saying that he will win the fight. I'm just saying that given the options, okay, that's probably the best option for him to take out 147. If it was up to me, I'd probably prefer if Amir moved down to 140, but his aim now is to become a two-weight division world champion. So that's his aim, and I think he needs to gun for the Keith Thurman fight pretty quick, because as soon as Errol Spence gets a hold of Keith Thurman, if Errol Spence gets all them belts, Amir Khan can forget about becoming a two-weight division world champion, because it will... It's sad because Amir Khan could have become a two-time world champion when Danny Garcia had the belt. That was the best time, and he will always regret, in my opinion, in his life later on, why didn't I just face Danny Garcia when I had the opportunity and the chance? Now he's going to have to face, this competition, basically. I mean, the welterweight division was open before, but slowly, they're fighting. Everybody's fighting each other whilst Amir Khan is out of the ring doing charity events, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he is out of the ring and he's inactive. He's living that lifestyle, and what he's doing is he's letting these fighters face each other, and the best fighter is going to emerge from that. Danny Garcia, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman. I mean, they're all Errol Spence. All these fighters are all getting cancelled out one by one until one is going to be declared the crown king of the 147-pound division. And Amir Khan potentially could get a shot at the title somehow, somewhere, because he is a bigger name than all of them fighters. Some of them put together, you could put Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. I'll still say Amir is probably the bigger draw. So he could get in line for one of these guys, and they will take him on. So for me, I think Amir Khan's waiting is what's hurt his career. If he doesn't win a 147-pound title, it's because of that. He should have been active straight after the Canelo fight, back in that ring, irrespective of what was happening. Surgery, no surgery. He had a chance to get a fight with Al Haymon, a tune-up. He could have had a tune-up, and then he could have been in line for, another fight coming very soon. He would have been in shape. But unfortunately, that's not happened. So for me, I think Amir Khan, he's got a few options. Right now, I think his option is getting in the ring with Keith Thurman ASAP, because as soon as that belt goes to Errol Spence, or him and Errol Spence fight, the winner of that fight, if Keith Thurman beats Errol Spence, I don't think if Errol Spence can't beat Thurman, Amir Khan's gonna have a very tough time. But yeah, leave your comments in the section below. Please make sure you subscribe to Be Real TV. Let me know what you guys think about Amir Khan's next move. I was saying take on Adrian Broner, but Adrian Broner's gone the Mikey Garcia route. That fight's gone. Inactivity. It's really hurting Amir Khan. He's a talent, a real talent. And that's aside from all the hate that people give him, I still think he's got something to offer the 147-pound division. Let me know what you guys think. Comments in the section below. Subscribe as always. Be Real TV. In a bit, guys.